Well, hello and welcome back. This is Greg Jones from Ear to the Ground Music, and I wanted to talk with you today a little bit about the music industry. And I know that many of you are already in the music industry, either as artists or publicists, or you book bands for gigs. And given that, I wanted to mention a few things that are good things in the music industry today. Um, when we first started Ear to the Ground Music, we didn't necessarily plan on being a part of the music industry in so many words. But it ended up that way, and we've enjoyed our role learning the industry as a blog and whatever that means as sort of outsider insiders. But here are my points. Okay, so the first point is we are living in a time with more music than ever, and I know what you're thinking. There have always been people playing on their front porches and bar gigs and all of those things. How could you possibly say there's more music? And what I mean by that is there's more recorded music because of the proliferation of tech, because we have devices that allow us to record. You don't need Alan Lomax to come into your town and record you on a phonograph now. You can actually record music on a cell phone, you can record it on a laptop, things that we can get at the local department store for a reasonable price. And because of that and the apps that go with it, people are able to create all sorts of music. Not to mention the fact that there are a lot of people making electronic music now. And so we have more music than ever. So that's a good thing. That's a great thing to be excited about. And sometimes we're so focused on the hard work, the grind, if you will, that we forget how amazing it is that whether you're trying to match up like-minded artists or whether you are putting together a bill, uh, however it is that you're working in the industry, we have more music than ever, and a lot of it is really good. Number two, we live in an age where musicians can survive. Now, they're not all going to become Michael Jackson. They're not all going to become household names and sell millions of records. That day and age is probably past. Uh, but we live in a world now that someone can develop a few hundred fans, or I should say a few thousand, but spread out all over the world, and play those shows in those bigger cities and actually pack the house with 100 people. And 100 people paying $25 a ticket is enough, right? You play a handful of dates that way, sell some albums to those diehard fans, and you can survive in the music industry today. There are examples of independent artists doing this, using things like Bandcamp to sell albums, to pre-release, using Patreon, using Kickstarter. There are all sorts of tools allowing musicians to develop and enjoy really having a following and a career. And the third point that I wanted to make is that listeners have more choice than ever before. Now, that's a good and a bad thing. Because listeners have more of a choice, listeners don't have to listen to the radio and they don't have to listen to full sides of albums. They can skip to the singles that they want, they can skip to the tracks that they love, and that's both good and bad. And you've heard a lot of people lament the death of the LP, the death of a full album. And I'm not here to do that. Rather, what I'd like to say is this fact that listeners have a choice really is key in the way that we approach the music industry. Somebody like us as bloggers, now, people can find their music in a million different ways. So why should they read Ear to the Ground rather than going to just straight to Spotify? Well, we like to say that we're curating. We're picking better things than an algorithm can pick for you. That's what we hope. And we're going to find things even before the Spotify aggregators get to them. That's our hope, right? That's what we're trying to do. But listeners have a choice. And if they don't like what you're doing, if they don't like your second album compared to the first, they can choose to move on. And wherever you are in the music industry, knowing and acknowledging that listeners have a choice means that maybe you choose your platforms wisely. Maybe it means that you choose your venues wisely, because your listeners may choose not to show up at particular festivals or at particular types of venues. Where one artist could make an entire career doing living room shows, another artist would not make it in that environment. So that's the point about listeners choosing, and we as people in the industry have to respond to that. And the last point, and some of you will be irritated by me making this point, but please, in order for any of this to work, you have to buy stuff. Whether you're just a music fan checking this out because you know ear to the ground, or you are somewhere somehow involved in the music industry. For this to work, we have to buy things. We have to buy tickets, we have to buy albums, we have to buy merch, and as we do those things, we can help support the artists. In fact, this is a Matthew Mayfield t-shirt, so shout out to Matthew Mayfield for that. But this was part of my way of supporting his music. Because I genuinely love what he's doing, I wanted to support him. I don't know how much money he made off of this t-shirt, but I know that it's my way to sort of throw a couple bucks his way, and hope that not only can I spread the word when I wear this shirt about his album, but I can also sort of have a point of pride and own a possession. So whether you want to frame pictures and put them on your wall, or buy albums and play them for your friends and neighbors, do those sorts of things, not only because you'll enjoy them, but because they help us with that number two, allowing musicians to survive in the music industry. So I don't know if you're picking up what I'm laying down here, but I just really want to cultivate an era of positivity about the music industry, rather than getting bogged down in the politics and the economics of it all. Let's just be really excited. Let's share some fantastic music, and let's enjoy what we have here this in this remarkable moment in music history and social history, and in this time. All right, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to give it a like, subscribe for more vlog style content, more thoughts and opinions on the music that we like and that we cover. And if there's a band you'd like us to cover, feel free to suggest it down below. We have plenty of submissions rolling in, but we always like to hear more music. Thanks for your time.